When I would come back to the US and stay for that month, the last thing I was thinking about was talking to anyone in the US. Like, for real. Like, that month, I was just like, look, I don't want to talk to anybody because I know the next time I leave the US, it's going to be so much easier to talk to chicks. It's going to be so much easier, different females. And I'm talking about women that, like, I would never, ever talk to in the US, like especially in San Francisco. Let's talk about the passport bros. What up, internet world? It's your boy Jermaine back with another video. If you guys don't know about the passport bros, in this video I will explain what they do. I'll give my 2 cents. We'll talk about some of the rumors that, yeah, let's just jump right into this video. It's a rainy day outside, so I thought I would make a video talking about the passport bros because they are just going mainstream. I remember about 2 years ago, this is when I first heard people start talking about the passport bros, and to just give an idea of what they are, it's basically men who go get their passports and they go travel and they look for dating opportunities in other countries and not in the US. Or I guess whatever country that they are coming from. I hear this sort of talk happen in the UK, but it's mainly an American thing that I hear happen amongst like black men. But believe me, men of other races do this same thing, but just in the past couple years, it has went like mainstream because it's really exploded on YouTube. If you type in passport bros on YouTube or on TikTok, I'm sure you'll find a lot of info. I really don't exactly know the definition because over time it's kind of changed, but basically what passport bros do, you go get your passport, you save up money and you go abroad. You know, maybe you are looking for a partner to build a relationship with long term. If you go find a partner in another country and you like this partner, you basically don't bring this partner back to the US because your partner becomes like Americanized, right? And that's what you're trying to get away from. Some people go to other countries, you know, with their passports and they just meet like hookups, right? Because if you are, you know, a single guy and let's say you live in most parts of the US and let's say you make like $30,000 or $50,000 a year, dating pool will be difficult. Just because if a guy is making like $50,000 a year, chances are a chick is gonna look to date, if she makes $50,000, she's gonna look to date a guy that makes more. That's usually how it goes in the US. This has definitely been like my experience dating in America. Like you always have to, as the guy, you always have to provide like way more than what the girl, you know, provides. You know, you gotta have a car, you gotta have this, you gotta make more money. And they don't necessarily have to make a lot of money. They don't necessarily need a car. They don't, you know, as a dude, you're expected to do all these things. But now in the US, there's been this big push, like, you know, modern woman, basically like, you know, a woman is equal to a man, but then a man still has to provide way more, which I don't exactly get how that is equal to a man if you still have to provide way more. And some guys in the US are just getting, you know, fed up with this. And they are just saying to themselves, look, I'm just gonna date abroad. Now, I'm gonna talk a little bit about my experience dating abroad and dating in the US because maybe I've never really talked about it so much, like in a video. But before the pandemic, I was trying to go to like 100 countries. I got more than halfway there. Then the pandemic happened and my life changed. Well, before the pandemic, I had, I've been living in San Francisco a couple years, and I noticed that San Francisco is like an extremely difficult place. Not only to just go on dates, but just to even like talk to women. Like a lot of them won't even like, or at least back then, my experience was a lot of them wouldn't even give you like the time of day. And I remember going on, you know, a couple dates, like with the whole Tinder app and stuff like that. And I met this young lady who was really, really cool. She was a black girl. She, had somewhat of a decent job. Oh my gosh, she was just really difficult to like, you know, talk to. It seems like she always had other people, the other guys that she could hang out with. You know, I was just kind of, you know, I liked her. I thought she was cool, you know, but come to find out, only reason that she really wanted to talk to me was because I had spent time in New York and she was getting ready to move to New York. So she was just, you know, basically all of our conversations were about New York. And then I kind of felt like, oh, if I have not went to New York, you probably wouldn't be talking to me because you're getting ready to go to New York. I kind of felt like I was being used. We never hooked up or anything because it was just like, oh, I'm not looking to hook up with anyone. I'm just, I just want to be friends, but I also want to spend time with you and I want you to come over and hang out and do this. And yeah, we can go walk and do that. And, it was just kind of like, basically sort of using me as a friend, right? I've definitely had other relationships like in San Francisco, but they were like kind of, I don't know, kind of short relationships, As I'm making this video, I am in a relationship with someone. I love my partner, and I don't, I'm not making this video because I'm thinking about becoming a passport bro. But if I wasn't in a relationship, I would probably feel the same way I did when I was doing a lot of international traveling, because I went through this phase of I was just in and out of the country. Like I would come back to the US and stay for like a month, and then I would leave the US for like 2 months to 3 months, and then I would come back to the US and stay for a month. When I would come back to the US and stay for that month, the last thing I was thinking about was talking to anyone in the US. Like for real. Like that month I was just like, look, I don't want to talk to anybody because I know the next time I leave the US, it's going to be so much easier to talk to chicks. It's going to be so much easier. And that was just kind of my experience. Like I would go travel. It would just be really easy to talk to different females. And I'm talking about women that like I would never, ever talk to in the US, like especially in San Francisco. I kind of just got used to that, right? And then the pandemic happened and I came back to live in San Francisco and I started living full time. And then I was on I was in a Facebook group, and that's how I met my partner that I'm with today. And, if I wasn't in a relationship, I would definitely, leave the country and go back to traveling. But it won't exactly be for the whole passport bro reason. It would be for another reason that I hear a lot of guys become passport bros. America is expensive, bro. Like it is. This is a very expensive country. Just living in San Francisco now, you could live off of $3,000 a month. You could probably live off of $2,500 a month. You can definitely live off of $2,000 a month, but you won't be living as good as if you had $2,000 or you had $3,000 a month living in a place like Thailand. Oh my gosh, I've been to Thailand so many times, and I can live off of $1,000 a month in Thailand. Like I'm not very like high maintenance, and I'm a very like chill person for the most part. But if you had $3,000 a month and you're living in Thailand, you can live so much better. Like your quality of life will be so much better than like $3,000 a month in San Francisco. And more guys who become passport bros, they're starting to realize this. They're starting to realize, wait, America is expensive. Like just going on a date in San Francisco, man, you're going to easily pay like anywhere from $50 to $100 just to go on a date. And I remember going on plenty of dates, like meeting chicks on the Tinder app. And they would literally tell me in the date, like, oh my gosh, like I love San Francisco because I just go on dates like all the time and the guys always pay. And, if I like them, I can just, see them again, or I can just move on to the next guy. And I remember once I was on a date and this chick told me that. And I was just like, did you just really like straight up like tell me you basically like use dudes to go on a date, But that's an American thing. Like, that's kind of how it is, Tricks can get away with that because there's lots of dudes that'll be like, yeah, I'll take you on a date, Of course, this sort of thing can happen in another country, but at least you won't be paying like $100 to find out that, it's just someone that's just gonna use you. I remember when I first went to Thailand, I met this chick, and I'd never ever talked to like Asian chicks up until this point, and we were just hanging out, and her English was somewhat decent. So we kind of hung out. We got coffee at this coffee shop, and then I said, hey, I want to go and get some really good Thai food because I was eating at this same like Thai stall, this place where they like cook food on the street, and it's like this big row of a whole bunch of different foods to choose from. And I was going there frequently, and she was like, yeah, I'll take you to a place. And she took me to this other place, and we went on like this rooftop, and there's nice views, and, she spoke in Thai, so she was all making this connection with the waiter, something that I couldn't do in Thailand because I don't speak Thai. And we had like a really awesome time, and then we ended up like hanging out for a couple of days after that, and, we definitely, did a lot of, playing baseball, if you know what I mean. And, I had a blast, I had a blast. Like in America, I've never really went on like chill dates like that. Whenever you go to another country, this is something else that I think the passport bros really appreciate, and this is just something that like American women it's just something that like it's not Americans women's fault, but like it's something that American chicks can't really compete with. This is for men traveling to other countries and women traveling to other countries. When you go to a different country, you're gonna be in like this happy mode. You're gonna be in this like super awesome, like wow mode. Like, I'm here, I've never been here before. Wow, it's very different. Like, this is how they do things. You're gonna be in that wow mode, and that will make you a different person when you're like out meeting people. Your confidence is going to be different. Like, you're not worrying about, like, you're not even in the US, so you're not worrying about like, work, and you're not worrying about your car, and you're not worrying about certain things because you're like out traveling. And it's like this bubbly phase that you go through, and it can be a lot of fun, but that bubbly phase doesn't necessarily like last forever. Just the other day, another story I want to tell y'all. Just the other day, I was at the post office, and I was going in buying some postage stamps because I had to like, mail a postcard. And I saw these two like young black kids in the post office, and they came up to me and was like, "Yo, what's up, Jermaine? What you up to?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm just here buying some postage stamps." And I said, "What y'all up to?" And both of them said that they were applying for their passport. And I was like, "Oh, you guys are applying for your passports." And I didn't really get too much information about them. They look like they were in between the ages of 20 and 25. And so I didn't ask them how old they were. They said that, I can't wait to travel. Like, we both plan to like travel for a year. And I was thinking, plan to travel for a year? That sounds awesome. And come to find out, they were like locals. So I guess they probably live with their parents. And if you live with your parents and you're able to save money and like travel, save money, like you live at home with your parents and you're able to like work and save enough money and then go travel for a year, this can be a really good a really good learning tool. This could be a really, really good learning opportunity, and this is something that you will take with you for the rest of your life. Before I started to travel, I was on YouTube and I was watching some video, and it was making fun of Americans and talking about how Americans don't travel and how Americans are dumb. And I ended up getting a passport like a week after I watched that video. And I said to myself, like, I want to travel the world. Like, I want to see what else is out there, and I want to go explore. I just want to check out other places. And since then, I've been to so many other countries around the world, and it's made me a completely different person. It's made me a more confident individual. Like, I can relate with other people from different cultures differently. I remember when I went to Turkey, I spent, I think about 2 weeks in Turkey. And now the connection I make with like Turkish people in San Francisco is like so much different if I would have never went to Turkey. And to see these two young kids getting their passports and talking about they want to travel for a year. Now, they didn't say like they're going to be a passport bro or anything, but they just basically said they want to travel for a year. And my only guess is maybe the passport bros, like maybe that movement has sort of influenced them, because in the past 2 years since I've been hearing about the passport bro movement going like mainstream, the amount of people that I hear, especially guys, that I hear that are talking about getting their passport and traveling is mind-blowing. Before the pandemic, I was traveling and I was always posting on social media, and I was always, showing the beautiful places that I'm staying, and I was always showing like the food, and I was always talking about how cheap countries were. Back then, it wasn't like I really influenced a lot of people that I know to go out and travel. But now, since everyone was, locked down with the pandemic and people were just forced to like, watch stuff on, YouTube and stuff on the internet, I guess more people got like influenced to travel internationally. And then the Passport Bro movement started. And the Passport Bro movement, they talk about a lot of stuff. It's not just all about, if you go on TikTok, you'll see a lot of women making videos talking about that. Guys that are doing this are only going there to take advantage of women, which, no, I don't think this is necessarily true. I think that there are some women in the US that are just upset that, now you have less guys, trying to holler at you. And now you got more guys thinking about, yo, let's go abroad. And then also, I think that a lot of women can't necessarily duplicate the technique of going to other countries and meeting men. I definitely hear in a couple African countries, which I won't name, that women go and they find men to date. And it's also very known in Jamaica and also Belize, where women will go and they'll find men to hook up with and stuff like that. But for the most part, dudes going out chasing chicks is just not comparable to women going out chasing men. Like, it just doesn't, it's not comparable. Times are changing, and with the internet, just, you know, with us just getting more and more connected with the internet, like, dating has changed like so much, like, since the pandemic. And nowadays, like, you know, I run around the city and things are just very different, right? Things are very, very different. I see a lot of, like, you know, women that are lonely. I see a lot of guys that are lonely, but I hear about more guys talking about, yo, I'm gonna go to this other country and I'm gonna go here and stay for a month, and I'm gonna go here and stay for 2 months. And I also hear about more guys saying that, like, look, I don't want a family. I don't want a wife. You know, just the amount of dudes I hear that say that they don't want, like, an actual relationship anymore is, like, it's mind-blowing. But to some women, they actually want a relationship. You know, there's a lot of women out there that do. Like, there's this one place I go to all the time, and, you know, I always hear, like, you know, this story of this woman and how she wants to get married and she wants to, you know, have a husband and all that. And she says, like, it's so hard to find anyone. But there's a lot of guys that say the same thing. There's a lot of guys that just want to be with someone too, but then they just get, like, rejected all the time. I mean, that was definitely my experience before I was in the relationship. And that's why I was, like, always traveling all the time. Well, not the only reason. I mean, San Francisco is very expensive, you know, so if you can, you know, stay for a month and, like, work and make money and grind and then go take off and go some other place for 3, 4, 5 months at a time, I mean, that can be amazing, especially if you're on a beach somewhere and there's, like, white sand under your feet and it's nice sunny weather and it's not raining like it is right now today. I was talking to my homies in Thailand right now, and he is having a blast over there. He's just living it up, and he's talking about how he only paying like $650 a month in rent and how he's only spending $1,500 a month. I'm like, bro, stop flexing, dude. You're rubbing it in right now. You are freaking rubbing it in. I just came in from the freaking rain, and I'm about to get ready to go back out in the rain. And my homie over there talking about he living the good life in Thailand, and I'm over here in America, just chilling, you know. But anyway, you know, I just wanted to make a video on the trending topic of the Passport Bro movement. I've been following this movement for some time, ever since KS died. If you guys don't know who KS is, I don't want to say his name because this video might get demonetized if I say his name. But ever since he died, the whole Passport Bro movement has just went bananas, yo. It's just went crazy, and I don't know. I think there's a lot of benefits, you know, going to other countries and it's cheaper. Also going to other countries and learning different cultures, because these are things that you can take with you, you know, throughout your life. And if you can relate with more people, this is great. Like, especially if Americans go out and travel and we're able to relate with other people of other cultures. This is great for our people, yo. Like, this is smart. It's making us smarter, yo. It's making us, you know, one thing about racism is people just don't know about other people's cultures. So when I see, like, you know, those young kids at the post office going out and they want to travel and they want to, you know, go to other places and hang out, like, that's great, because they're going to remember that the rest of their life. And it's kind of sad when you talk to some Americans that they've only traveled because they went to the military. It's a whole another world out there when you go and get your passport and you say, no, I want to go travel because I want to go see the world on my own. And this was a decision I made, and it has greatly enhanced my life. So if you are, you know, a dude or a woman, you want to go out and travel, yo, go out and travel. Like, save up your money, leave the US, go travel for a little bit. Who knows, you might not want to come back, or you might want to come back and just rinse and repeat the process and do it over and over because you just found something that you love. Now you like it, you know. But for now, I'm going to wrap this one up. I would love to hear what you guys have to say about this whole, like, Passport Bro movement in the comments. I know this is, like, not my typical content, like, people like for me to show the streets of San Francisco, but I just want to make more content, like, come out with more videos and, you know, come out with different things. And I'm not, like, out right now. It's raining like crazy. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm out. I love all of y'all, and peace out, yo.